Hi Scorpio, thanks for tuning in. This is going to be your reading for February 2020. Join me while I shuffle. Connect with your higher self and your guides. Really tune in. Ask them to connect with me and to communicate any messages or ideas, concepts that you will find helpful at this time for your growth on your journey. Please don't multitask while you're watching this reading. I want to make sure that you don't miss any of the messages and that you don't waste your time with other things going on at the same time. So grab some headphones and a cup of tea, and let's talk about the energies available to you at this time. Ace of Wands in reverse at the bottom of the deck. A lot of Cups cards in this spread. 2 pages in reverse. Okay. So with Ace of Wands being at the bottom of the deck, I would say there could be something going on. There's also Ace of Cups here in reverse in your reading with Page of Wands in reverse. So for some of you, this could be a reading that's about a relationship that might have started recently. If it's not a love story, there could be something here about a new business partnership or some other type of connection that it doesn't have to be about romance, but there could be something here about something that started recently that maybe felt like a really wonderful offer, something that was very inviting, very opening, very creative. I'm hearing opportunistic. And so that opportunity was presented to you and it seemed very compelling and very interesting. Right now, how it feels is that you may be unsure if it's actually really in alignment with you. With the 7 of Cups here in the reading. Also with this, so the 7 of Cups with the Lovers together, upright, and then Ace of Cups here with Page of Wands in reverse. So these 4 cards here are saying, along with the Knight of Cups there and the Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck, something that may have been offered to you recently in a very recent past, looked good on paper, looked like very compelling and very interesting. But right now you are uncertain if it is the right thing for you. It may seem like a fantasy, or you might feel in a little bit of a unsure place. It might feel confusing. And so you might be feeling like it's actually not a genuine offer with these 2 cards here. This is saying maybe, like this is the offer that came towards you, this character with the cup holding this cup. But now you have this cup here upside down. So And then this person who seems like someone with a genuine offer is coming in here presenting as this individual that seems a little immature and maybe immature emotionally, but also immature in age. This person could be younger than you. It could be that they made a lot of promises and really talked themselves up, but now they're not actually exhibiting any of the real stuff that they've been promoting about themselves, or about what they're going to offer to you, or what they want to provide or share with you. That's what I feel. So there's some disappointment around that, with the 5 of Cups at the heart of the reading, crossed by the 7 of Pentacles. And again, if this is not a romance reading, but this could be also some type of investment in business or finance, you could be feeling like some feeling of loss and disappointment about something you've been giving your time and energy to. Again, it could be a financial investment or a business project or a new love interest. But there's 7 of Pentacles as the crossing card of the reading, and again, it's in reverse. It seems like you might have invested more into the thing than you are seeing return on. So there could be some kind of loss that you're experiencing with regard to whatever this is that we're talking about here. Now, what else we have? There's a lot of court cards in this reading. So you have Page of Cups reversed, Knight of Cups, Page of Cups reversed, King of Wands reversed as well. So I feel like these cards are describing another person, or again, a situation. Like if this is a business thing or some kind of project that you were working on. If it's this person, if it's this original person that came in with this offer, the Knight of Cups. Now you're seeing them as someone who's immature and whose word doesn't really necessarily mean anything, who may have hurt you simply by making a lot of promises and then not showing up in the way that they told you they would. So you're seeing them as this very immature person that can't deliver, Chariot reverse, can't deliver. You're seeing them perhaps as this Knight of Wands that like all bark no bite, or all smoke no fire, something like that. Like what they impressed you with by their words and promises have shown to be empty and meaningless, and that maybe now leaving you feeling a little bit disheartened and a bit disappointed, and feeling sort of a little bit jaded, even a little bit jaded perhaps, and maybe a bit confused. So what's the point of all this? Like where can we go with all this information, and how can we turn this into something valuable that will make it worthwhile to have gone through something so difficult? So the point here is to work on your self-esteem. Also, what the point here is to not to be jaded and cynical, but to resist the temptation to let someone's charismatic, over the top talk, speech, or flamboyant kind of, someone's obviously been very charming and charismatic here, and they won you over very easily in a way. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not trying to convince you to be a jaded and cynical person, but this is about learning how to really read a person's energy in a way that doesn't allow you to get swindled or taken advantage of, or to have your hopes and expectations built up to then later crash and burn and make you feel shitty about yourself, or just disappointed in general that people can't be trusted. It's that kind of energy. Like, I think it's about learning how to take people's promises with a grain of salt, and also learning to read people's energy to know and understand if someone is like all talk and no action, right? Like, again, this is about, I think the physical reality of the situation is that no matter what a person says, we ought not to invest too much in them until we actually see the behavior, until we see how they operate. They can tell you they're a good person, but can you actually experience them being a good person by their behavior, not just by what they tell you? So in the hopes and fears quadrant, we have the Eight of Swords reversed with the Four of Pentacles upright. And this is basically what I've just been talking about here. It's like reserving your energy, reserving your, not judgment, but reserving your evaluation of a person until you actually really see, until you've really seen them exhibit what they've told you they are, or who they've told you they are, or what they've told you they can do. Wait until you witness the exhibition of that energy first before you roll out the red carpet for them, right? So taking a little bit of time, giving a person space to kind of show you who they are, not like jumping to conclusions and just assuming that what they've told you is what they are, but actually waiting to see them behave and show you, right? And I feel this Empress in reverse here in the outcome position is part of that energy around like really seeing a person's energy in the physical and not just taking for granted what they've told you to be the truth about who they are. Because, these three cards here in the outcome, well, these four actually. So you have King of Wands reversed, Page of Cups reversed, Chariot reversed, and Empress reversed. That's for me feeling like, this person let you down and behaved immaturely and maybe made promises that they are not able to keep. But that doesn't have to mean that you lose self-confidence or that you lose motivation and drive. Not at all. This is not necessarily, it's not, I guess what I'm trying to say is don't let this situation be something that you take personally, as in, a person maybe not being able to commit to you, or a person, maybe telling you they're a good person, but then actually like, or maybe a person offering you their love, but then finding out later that maybe they have other people that they're dating and they're not actually committed or devoted to you, or just one person. So it's not about taking any of that personally, as in it being some kind of reflection of your value or your worth, right? Don't let this situation chip in any way away at your personal sense of self and well-being. It's not that. It's about realizing that you, again, just need to be able to read situations better, read people better, and understand that it's not always what it seems. and that you need to just take things a little bit slower sometimes, and rather than diving in head first because someone is making big promises to you, to just take time to like actually let them really show you who they are before you give them the world. And don't let a person's disappointing behavior affect your personal well-being and your personal drive to continue to work on whatever projects you're working on, or to pursue a true meeting of a partnership with someone that is, whether it's creative or in love or in life, you know. Like don't let a person's bad behavior or disappointing actions affect you in a way that makes you kind of like give up on the pursuit of partnership, if that's what you want. Okay, let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. Okay, Ace of Wands reversed, Ten of Pentacles, Five of Swords and reversed, and Three of Wands. So this is telling me that what was begun at one point, what I talked about earlier, something that was offered to you, a beginning that was made, something that started, maybe lost a bit of its steam because maybe you witnessed some behavior or actions or words from a person that didn't match what they promised. So there's like a little bit of a jarring feeling with that, some disappointment. But that doesn't need to affect your pursuit of community or collaboration or love or partnership or commitment in general. And it doesn't need to affect your self-esteem, right? Like you don't have to take this personally. Another person's actions, behavior is actually not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of them. So if you, for example, feel like, if we are talking about love here, for example, this is just an example. If we're talking about a romantic offer that was made to you, and then it turns out you discover that this person is dating multiple people, that doesn't mean that you're not worthy of love. It means that that person can't see you as a match for them. It doesn't mean that you're not a good person or that you're not lovable because this one individual doesn't want to commit to you. It's not a reflection of you. It's about them, right? So the Five of Swords here with the Three of Wands is telling me that you need to overcome whatever internal dialogue you have going on that is a little bit disparate or a little bit if you're hard on yourself, if you're punishing yourself, you know, with your inner dialogue, you need to stop that. And you need to access the energy of the Three of Wands here, where it's more about, you know, visioning the landscape of your life as far as what it is that you want to create. What kind of lifestyle do you want to create? What kind of reality are you building? How are you designing your lifestyle? And how to take away this energy of self-criticism or self-judgment based on events that might have occurred between you and other individuals, where you might be allowing other people's behavior to impact your self-esteem and self-worth in a harsh way. And that's what you need to end. That's what needs to end. And you need to work more on focusing on what it is that you want to create, what kind of relationships you want to have, and actually implementing steps towards how to actually make those things become manifest by doing the inner work, by doing the outer work, by practical application of systems and processes that actually bring you closer to your goal every single day. All right? Let's have a look now, just check over. I feel that's it for this part of the reading. I'm just going to see if there's anything else to come through, and then we're going to move on to the higher octave spread. Yeah, for some of you, this might be about, like, maybe this is a moment here to pause and see if you actually really need or want romantic partnership at this time. This could be about you realizing that maybe at times being like you might be constantly chasing partnership, thinking that that's what's going to make you happy, but in fact it ends up driving home the point that you feel insecure and have low self-esteem because things don't work out. So maybe what the message is here for some of you is to, rather than keep chasing romance and keep trying to find that partnership that will bring you what you perceive to be happiness, strive to focus on giving energy and time to these things so we can get these cards in the upright position. This is about self-esteem, self-worth, self-love, healing. So you might just need to give yourself a little bit of time and space to focus on these things to get yourself in a good position, in a good energy where you can actually match someone that is worthy of you because you've put that effort in, right? So I'm kind of contradicting what I said earlier when, like when I said another person's behavior is not, it's not on you, it's a reflection of them. It's not a reflection of you. But in some ways, there is a bit of that reflection energy where if you are not self-loving, then you're gonna there's an energetic gap or space for someone to come in that will behave in a certain way that will prove you right. You know what I mean? Like if you are feeling insecure and lacking in self-love, there could be a space for someone to come in and behave in a certain way that shows you that. So there's the work here, is to access. And the Lovers card here, while it might be speaking about, as I said, romance or partnership or collaboration of any kind, what it's actually really about is the divine union in the self. So accessing your own potential through realizing your beauty and your perfection as is, and loving and accepting and forgiving the self, eliminating self-judgment. And there it is, basically. It's kind of simple, but it's a journey for sure. And you don't just get there one day and that's it, you're done. This is a constant process. You always have to work on this. So let's move on. Let's take a look at the higher octave spread with the Voyager deck. Please join me again while I shuffle. Send your energy into the deck. We're going to look at any, with the higher octave spread, it's designed to find any, to locate any karmic and spiritual forces that may be at play. It can also help to locate and illuminate any blind spots we might have, and can also provide some practical insight and guidance from your guides to, understand how best to work with the energies that we're dealing with to make the most out of the lessons and get what's actually here for us. So, one more shuffle. Let's take a look. Page of Swords is at the bottom of the deck. So we've had a few pages in this reading. 5 of Swords crossed by 4 of Cups. 4 of Pentacles reversed. That's the same card that we have here. 2 of Crystals. That's a 2 of Swords. 8 of Pentacles reversed with the Sage of Cups upright. Child of Wands, same. It's the Page of Wands here, again reversed. 6 of Crystals reversed. Wheel of Fortune. 9 of Pentacles. 5 of Cups. Man of Cups reversed. Death reversed. And 6 of Pentacles reversed. Okay. So I do feel that there are some energies in this reading that are talking about what I saw in the previous reading was that there was a love interest that came in, this Knight of Cups. Here I'm seeing it as this Man of Cups, but it's in reverse, in the Wheel of with the Wheel of Fortune in the hopes and fears position of the reading. So what that's telling me is that if there was a love offer that came to you and didn't work out, this is saying here with the Wheel of Fortune upright that that's actually in your favor. It's beneficial to you that didn't work out because for whatever reason that was not a good alignment for you. And so while you might be having sort of a moment where you're mourning the loss of something that didn't work out, your guides are saying here that that's in your favor. This was not a good match for you and it was not a good alignment. And so this person moving out of your energy is a beneficial thing for you. So there is just here, I need to reframe, like all the cards here are basically saying the same thing to me, which is that if something didn't work out, you don't have to take that as meaning that it has some kind of implication on you that you were not good enough or any of that stuff. Simply wasn't a good alignment, wasn't a good match. And you might only be seeing certain things about a person that make you feel like there is something to mourn over because you didn't get that person to like commit to you or be loyal to you or something like that. But that person, it was just not in the right space to match you and align with you. And it's not a personal thing. There's 2 6s here, both in reverse. There's also 2 5s in this reading. So There's a need here for you to clear your mind and reframe the way you're thinking about a scenario here, and remove any like unnecessary overthinking or processing about it, to clarify and free yourself from any confusion about the situation, and then just accept that it was not the right dynamic for you to be in. And so your higher self and your guides here is very clear. There's been some orchestration happening on your behalf to help keep you in the right direction, on the right path, and minimize the effect of certain individuals that you might have been kind of getting close to or spending time with that are actually not an alignment or not a good match for you. Again, it doesn't have to be only in romance and love. This could be any type of, individuals that you might be interacting with. You might have had tried to start something with someone. Could have been a collaboration of a creative project or whatever, and for whatever reasons, it didn't move forward, it didn't go ahead, or didn't work out. That's not an indication of you not being a good person or not being worthy enough for that person to want to, work with or do something with. Simply not a good match, not a good alignment. And so if there has been some changes or like a shifting in direction, and maybe something that you had wanted to start or maybe had already put in a little bit of energy into starting hasn't worked out, it's not something to spend too much time overthinking and processing and taking to heart in a personal way that maybe you did something blah 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 blah. No, it just wasn't a good alignment. And so the work to do here is, as I said, reframe the process, reframe the way you perceive the situation, so that you don't take it in a direction where it becomes some kind of negative mess that you turn it into. It's not that. There's just different people that you will become aligned with in the next phase, in the next part. If you can just clear your energy and just work on your emotional state and clarifying your mind. And again, as I said in the previous reading, the most important thing in this reading in both spreads is your sense of self-worth and self-esteem. So in the outcome of this reading, we have 9 of Pentacles with 5 of Cups. Once again, highlighting that if there was a disappointing experience, if there was something that you felt like you missed out on, or if there's something you're mourning over or grieving over because it didn't work out, don't let your mind take you in the wrong direction and let you think that it was something to do with you, your worth and your value. It's not about that. You need to just keep frame your sense of self-worth based on just you being you and accepting who you are, and not let other people's decisions or other people's lack of timeliness or lack of being on point be something that you take on as a thing that affects your self-esteem. Okay, let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. Child of Crystals, Strength reversed, Woman of Wands, Star reversed. Okay, Strength and Star both reversed. For the major arcanas we have in this reading, Death reversed, Wheel of Fortune upright, Strength reversed, and Star reversed. It's interesting. It does feel more or less like a reiteration here. Like Child of Crystals, Strength reversed, Woman of Wands, and Star reversed. So if you feel... I feel like you're being a little bit too affected by other people's choices and action. And that's the main thing I feel in this reading that your guides are wanting to pass on to you, is that it's part of really growing into a really empowered state of and a sense of self, when you can be unbothered or unimpacted by the choices that other people make that are around you, that might actually affect your flow in some ways, or might affect your whatever. If other people's decisions don't have to be a reflection of you, of your self-worth or your self-esteem. And that's the point here, is like not letting other people's decisions really be something that you take on in a way that affects your self-esteem. So with the Strength and the Star card both in reverse in this reading, I feel like there is something here for you to take note and pay attention to, is like your healing at the moment is to do with your own sense of empowerment and self-worth based on just trusting yourself. And if you've been in situations with people who've been a little bit immature, you know, it's a fine line between being, you know, self-reflective and self-aware, and being too egotistical or dismissive, right? So there's something to be really, there's a delicate balance you need to find there between really seeing yourself in all honesty for who you are, and really acknowledging your flaws and your places where there is work to be put in to make improvements and changes that need your attention, versus being so hard on yourself and so self-judgmental and so um, insecure that you take on things that aren't yours, right? So that's the work of the star card and the strength card here. This is about your healing. It's about courage and confidence. It's about your commitment to your own self-growth and finding the ways in which you are um, just able to be accepting and loving of the self in your perfect mess that you are right now, and just be real about the things that you do need to change, and but also acknowledging the things that you are already achieving and attaining on. Okay. And again, like not being hard on yourself, also about maybe letting someone into your close area that maybe didn't really deserve to be there, because you might have got like, the word swindle just came into my mind. If that feels a little bit harsh, but there could be some of that energy where like you gave a person a lot of trust, and you might have given a person a lot of space to be in your kind of close area, because they might have charmed you and they might have made promises, but you might feel let down now because that person has behaved immaturely and maybe wasn't what they promised, or didn't exhibit the same kind of loyalty or commitment that they said they could. And again, this is not about it being a reflection on you as far as you not being worthy of them, but how it does reflect on you. And this is why I'm talking about this being a need for a shift in your perspective, is that there could be a need for you to realize that if there are areas where you do feel insecure, you will sometimes draw energetically in those kind of people that will show you exactly where that is. And so this is, again, as I said in the beginning of the reading, about figuring out how to just take your time to let people show you who they are, and not just take them on their word. Wait till they exhibit action and show you via their behavior who they really are, before you give them the world, before you roll out the red carpet for them, and before you give them, you know, the space inside of your heart that you would give to someone who actually is able to live up to their agreements. Okay? Let me just check over here, but I feel that's it for your reading for this month, Scorpio. It's all part of changing and growing up. You have the Eight of Pentacles reversed in this deck is called change in the recent past. So what I feel that's speaking to is, as I said earlier, things might have looked like they were going in a certain direction. You might have like listened and followed along with what someone told you they were going to do or what they could do, and their physical behavior and actions didn't match up to that. So you're learning to just be able to read people better, and learning how to, you know, like take a little bit more time before you really just take someone into your close inner circle, right? Before you really know who they are. So just take your time with that, Scorpio. You're always healing. We're always growing. And with that, I'll close out your reading. Thank you so much for watching. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you. I hope you found some things in there that you can use, that you can work with. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. See you in the next reading.